What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Parker's Garage. Just wanted to give everybody a little update on the old Hawk Dlx. It's over 1,000 miles now. Been doing pretty good. I did manage to drop it doing a wheelie. Broke the mirror off, which ain't no big deal. It's only 30 bucks to fix, which I ordered it, just waiting to get it. Then I got that side tank plastic, which would be the left side. Ordered that as well. Got the tank plastics on. When I bought it originally, it didn't come with the left side, so got that straightened out. And then did a little custom paint job on this, which I gotta pull out a light, which you can see. You know, it changes color, which is pretty awesome. You have to excuse the dirt for right now. But I just did the plastics. It's getting a little dark now, but obviously it changes in the sunlight. I have a little flashlight. It gives you a couple different options for lighting. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, no issues at all. It's really good on gas too. I figured it out, and I average about 64 miles a gallon. So pretty happy with that. I have taken it off-road a few times. The knobbies that it comes with are not that bad at all. And when I bought it, it still had all the lines still on the tires, which, as you can see, you know, the only one that you can vaguely see now is this one here. But I don't really like taking, you know, leaning a lot on this thing, because obviously I don't trust these Chinese knobbies, or any knobby for that matter, really getting it on its side. But overall, I've been pretty impressed, you know, to be 100% honest. And this will also be the 1,000-mile review. You know, I got 1,050 miles on it. You know, technically 1,048, but you know, 1,050. Then I actually upgraded the headlight. Put a LED bulb in there, which, boy, what a difference that made. As you can tell, you know, the factory headlight on this thing is like having a candle out front, and that's no joke. It's terrible. But overall, like I was saying, I'm pretty impressed with it. You know, I bought it dirt cheap, and I've had quite a bit of fun with it so far. You know, it's pretty awesome that you know, you can go from the road right to the trails, and from the trails back to the road. You know, I realize I like that kind of riding a lot. It's a pretty good time. I'm actually going to look into getting a supermoto. I've been looking at the KTM 690s and Husqvarna 701s. You know, and if I have to get an enduro and make it into a supermoto, so be it. Not a big deal. But I really like it. You know, I like how soft and plush the ride is. You know, like on the Harleys and stuff, you know, you can't go whipping over the train tracks. At least not in my town, you can't. You know, our train tracks are pretty brutal, but on this thing, I mean, you can 45, 50 miles an hour over the tracks. It's like you're floating on a pillow. You know, like the suspension is surprisingly good. And that's for this thing. You know, this is just a little Chinese Hawk Dlx. That's it. You know, so overall, I'm pretty impressed with the little bike. You know, granted, it's not very fast. I never changed the sprocket yet. So far, I've had it up to, like, I don't know, about 65, 66. It wasn't fully pegged out, though. But pretty much almost was. But aside from that, I would say if you plan on, riding on the streets mainly, I'd say upgrade the sprockets, both of them, for sure. As far as what I'm going to do, I'm just going to upgrade the front one to a 17 tooth and keep the stock one in the back. That way at least it's still somewhat usable on the trails and stuff. The fuel injection of it, really good. Like, it works great. I'm pretty impressed with what this bike costs and how well it works. The only thing I will say, like, when you first start it up and it's cold, at least for me, I don't know if it's because of our climate or whatever, and it's still kind of cool here. It's like 60 right now. But when you go to give it gas sometimes, it'll like fall on its face for a second and then catch, But obviously, no carburetor, so you can't tune it. But once it warms up, it straightens itself out, so it's not as prevalent. But aside from that, no issues. I changed the oil on it once already. I don't mess around when it only takes pretty much, a quart to a little over a quart, depending on what all you do. A quart of oil is cheap, and I'll just keep the oil clean. I always do that with the Grom too. Right now I probably have, I don't know, maybe 300 miles on here. But as you can see, it's still in relatively good shape. Definitely still some life left. But I would say if you're a beginner, this is a pretty good bike for a beginner. It's not very fast at all. I mean, compared to what I'm used to riding, it's relatively slow, to be honest. But it is a lot of fun, and the fun factor is really high. It really is. Like, I didn't think that I'd enjoy this thing this much, especially being only a 250. And I've ridden mainly Harleys, started out on the Grom naturally, but I'm pretty happy with it. And I think a beginner, this would suit a beginner pretty good. I'm 5'9". I wear a size 32 inseam for my jeans. And I can't flat foot both sides. I'm pretty much on the balls of my feet, but I also never adjusted the rear shock as much as you can adjust it, which with that I could probably flat foot it, but I keep it slightly, I basically kept it where it was, so when I go off-road on the trails and stuff, I prefer the ground clearance. I ride on the street, obviously, yes, but it isn't 100% on the street. I do a combination. But overall, I'm happy. And if there are any beginners out there, and you don't know how to work on bikes per se, these Hawks are great for that. And one thing I like about the DLX for a beginner is the fuel injection. If you're not familiar with carburetors or even know how to work on them, you don't have to worry about that. There's no carburetor issues. Fuel injection is always better. I don't care what anybody says. Fuel injection is the way to go, plain and simple. But aside from that, just maintain your stuff, and if you are a beginner, obviously, you've probably been looking into these, so to change out the chains immediately because they're garbage. They give you like a $10 chain on these bikes, on all these Chinese bikes. But, what do you expect when you're getting a completely brand new bike for, $2,000? And in some cases, less than $2,000 if you buy the regular Hawks. But I will say that they're not very fast, that's for sure. I want something a little faster and a little bit more powerful. So I don't know. I'll probably end up selling this, like I said, and I'm gonna look into getting a supermoto for sure. And I really like the KTM 690s and the Husqvarna 701s. Those are pretty sweet bikes. But aside from that, if you do buy one, be sure to upgrade the headlight. Go on Amazon, they have an LED headlight bulb for these. It's in I think H3. Oh geez, I can't remember now. But it's got 3 prongs on the base of the light, and now they have it to where they don't have the big huge back, like with the fan on the back of the light, which is great. They work perfect. You know, it works perfect. I can actually see at nighttime now instead of having a candle out front. It makes a huge difference. You know, but for the most part, I'm not gonna go crazy with this thing. I painted these here the same as I did the plastics. You know, my buddy was telling me that I should do the tank, which I'm not gonna bother with that. I may do the front fender. I may do this. I'll probably end up leaving it. You know, I'm not too stressed about it. Whatever. You know, it's just something to mess with in the meantime. And it was really to see if I liked this style of bike, which I've come to realize that I love it. You know, and I think the Supermoto would be the best fit for me anyway. But if you guys have any questions, definitely ask down below. If you'd like to comment, leave a comment. If not, no biggie. You don't have to subscribe. I'll never ask you to subscribe. And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike it, that's okay too. Till next time.